Good morning. Yes, and happy Friday. So it's been a kind of a slow week, except for Monday. Monday was really nice. Yesterday was pretty good. We just need a little bit of action. The main runner this week has been MTC and small caps. A lot of people fighting this one. It's been a beast. Let's see here. Let's go to... Yeah, let's look at a 5-minute. Everything looks like a shot today, so it's probably going up. Yeah, it seems like the overall market is looking very weak. All my big caps are going down, but you know what that means. They go down before they go up. We'll see, though. Small caps have been kind of dead. Yeah, pretty shot. But, there's slow periods, there's fast periods, there's hotter periods. But I don't know, this MTC one, this was pretty crazy. So this is what we're looking for, stuff like this to pop. And when you get a stock going from 30 cents to $3 in a day, almost 1,000%, about 1,000% in a day, that's pretty interesting. So that's gonna waken some things up. This could be kicking off another small cap cycle potentially. And we had FTEL yesterday, so that was pretty nice. For the short, I didn't stay in long enough, but that was a nice trade. This one's a multi-day runner as well, MTC. So we had a day 2 move, did a big clear out over day 1 high, pre-market after hour levels. So that's interesting. I didn't touch this one yesterday, but a lot of people fighting it. These get tricky when they stick around for too long, and they just don't want to go down. Everyone knows it should be at 0, but it just doesn't want to go down. So it's going to go down eventually, but the nice thing is this can kick off a bunch of other stocks. So we had a slow period. Hopefully this is kicking off a faster period. So FTEL was yesterday. Very, very nice for shorting. Oh, everything looks like a short today. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful fade on FTEL yesterday. Man, this is what dreams are made of if you're short selling. Small caps. Pretty amazing all-day fader. Yeah, you could get 50% on that thing yesterday. Pretty crazy. So hopefully we get some more like that. Pretty classic fade. You get the reverse split. Trash stock. And it's done it before, so this is the action we like to see. This is the action we like to see. Dead stock into pump and dump. They're doing some goofy shenanigan stuff, trying to raise money, diluting, some insider selling, something like that's happening. Either that or they're pumping for an offering, whatever it is. So we have MSGM up on earnings. Kind of an interesting one. Daily looks a lot like FTEL. This has had some big moves in the past. The obvious resistance areas going to be $1.70, $4, and then $8.70. So we got those marked out, and we're looking at this $4 level. So it pushed right over that, pulled back to the $4 level, held it. Okay, now the question is this going to roll over and crack that $4 level? All right, we're going to put an alert on just so I know when it happens, if it happens. Fingers crossed. We'll see the old Batman alert. And that's pretty much it. We got, let's see here. I think there was one more potential. BKYI. If that can get over $1, it already tapped $1 once. But I'm not interested yet. We'll see if it can do it. This is a beautiful one. If it sets up, you can see back here in this day. That's what we want. Ran right into this key level, pushed over a little bit, double top fake out into liquidation. That's pretty much it for small caps. Let's see, I thought I had another multi-day runner. No, that's pretty much it. We just had MSAI, which is sort of done. Sort of done with that. It had a nice trend break. See, this is the trend break set up on these multi-day runners. You get this nice trend like that. Okay, but you don't want it to break trend into a big pullback like this day right here. You can see that. Put it on the 5-minute. Yeah, let's go to 10-minute. I got too much junk on here. 30-minute. So anyways, obvious trend line. Yeah, you don't want it to break trend on a massive pullback. That's usually dip buy. So a huge dip into that trend line, bounces off of that, and then it rolls over the next day perfectly. Classic, right into the breakout level. So perfect pullback there. Trend break into the breakout support for 20%. That was the best trade on that whole chart, pretty much, unless you buy breakouts and swing overnight, which I don't do. So hopes for this one is that it can get back up to 240, maybe fake out that 240 level. We got an alert right up there, so hopefully it does that. That's the only thing I could do with this at this point. Sometimes these trend breaks can be an overnight, potentially. That was a nice day 2 move, so I don't swing though. Yeah, 30% maybe, 35% potential. Or just rehit it on day 2 and try to get a follow-up second red day on it. See the waterfall out of the gate. So this day, yeah, this day right here. It's tough because a lot of times the liquidity is low on day 2, and it's sort of a waterfall setup. Just goes, it rolls over super easy, which I don't usually like to hit because, I don't know, this seems like I could get squeezed. It's like lower liquidity. You got to slap it out of the gate. It could be a dip and rip. Who knows? But the trend break is the main part of the move. At this point too, everybody's forgotten about the stock because people traded on day 1, maybe day 2. At this point, no one's paying attention anymore. Let's see here. So I guess they're going to rule on Trump's tariffs soon. Supreme Court's supposed to say something about that soon. We're going to find out if the tariffs are legit, I guess. Or if he's going to have to pay back billions of dollars. Something like that. That's the latest story. It's all mostly nonsense. Until it's not. Until it's not. Let me see here. Bitcoin. Oh yeah, KView. We got along on KView. We're doing the swing. Swing trade here. Called this out the other day. It's still in my buy zone. So this is a swing. We got, okay, this is the pattern, right? We got Trump talking bad about a stock. Stock goes down. And then for some reason, big news happens into that dip. It's happened several times. Possibly happening again right here on KView. We got Trump saying Tylenol causes autism, right? This is the Tylenol stock. And now, I don't know, maybe they're going to come out and say, never mind. But you know what? Doesn't matter because Kimberly-Clark is acquiring this conveniently into this dip at $21 a share. So that's what it works out to be. It's trading at 16 at the moment. So I don't know. Odds are, it seems like this can at least make it to 21. So we had a trend break, and I don't go off of strictly news or strictly technical analysis. But we do have a nice trend break. And I've been watching for the trend break. We finally got it on earnings, plus this acquisition news. Now, we're going to see if it holds this dip. We're going to see if it can hold that dip. So far, it's holding okay. Now, the rest of the market looks kind of bad. I don't know if KView is going to hold the market up. Go against the trend here a little bit, but everything's lining up except for the overall market conditions, which can turn on a dime. So we'll see what happens. SPY likes to have a big red day and then a big green day sometimes. So who knows? But we have a nice trend break on the daily. We have the Trump setup into the Kimberly-Clark acquisition, which I believe is a $21 share. So usually these acquisitions like this, they're going to be getting in at a premium. They're going to pay a premium to get in. So the value that they're getting in at here is $21 a share. That's what they paid. So it's possible that this runs up to 21 and just kind of hangs out at 21 for a long time. That's the hope. So we're in this dip right here, right around where it is right now. I'm in around 1650. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to work in the end. And hopefully this is the dip that holds. Would love to see it not go below 1590. But it always could and still work. So I don't want to choke the trade either. We had Roblox a while ago. This is kind of a great example of the setup. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, right here. Pretty much this scenario right around here. So we got a big gap up, which we just had. Obviously, different catalysts and so on. But it could play out like this. Roblox had a big gap up right here, and then it held the dip really nicely at first. Tried to get going, and then it pulled back one more time. Hit a double bottom, and then it was off after that. So I don't want to stop out in this scenario. I'm risking lower. So it just needs to end up working. So we're looking to hold for maybe a month, maybe 2. We'll see. Maybe 3. Obviously, Roblox just kept going after all that. And wow, look at the pullback on Roblox. Breaking this 50 moving average. Breakdown, pullback, kind of move, retest. And they have some bad news going on, Roblox too. So anyways, that's the KVU play. And I have a blueprint here. This is from UNH. So UNH, let me just disable that real quick. There we go. Yeah, see, this is a classic kind of bottom pattern too. UNH did it amazingly. But see, after this mega pullback here, it set a low, held up really nicely, and then it took out the low. It just perfectly undercut that low a little bit. And then it reclaimed, and that was where the move happened. So we're kind of getting similar action on KVU. So we got a low over here. Put the line on right here too. So that was the low. Now we undercut the low. We have the trend break. We have the news. We have the Trump play. Now we know what the catalyst is. It's Kimberly-Clark acquisition. Now it just needs to play out. So we'll see if it happens. Fingers crossed. Hopefully the overall market doesn't totally crash and drag this down with it. That's probably the only downside to this trade right now is the overall market doesn't look great. But, you know, it's probably fine, honestly. It's probably going to bounce off that 50 at some point. you know, shoot back up, chop around. And I'm kind of projecting here a whole bunch of chop, maybe some grinding higher for quite a while. Market tops don't have to happen quickly. They can take some time. All right. 1 minute to the bell. All right, gonna start paying attention here. Closer. Mainly want to get into BKYI potentially. Not super convinced yet. Yeah, Tesla's kind of looking weak. I guess everything is. I'll watch. I'll watch for the fake out move if it happens. Another thing I think about though when these dips happen in the market is that's usually the best place to buy. Everybody's freaking out. Oracle has kind of a nice trend break coming on it. Kind of nice looking, huh? Gonna be looking to buy that when this trend breaks. We'll see if it holds up. Looks like the gap is filled now. Tesla does look like a double top. Short term. I'm kind of thinking we get a pullback towards 380 and retest this trend line. We'll see. All right, BKYI pushing pre-market high. Man, everything's on sale right now. I got big plans when the government reopens. I'll probably make a video about this. But a lot of these offerings that happen, this is strictly small cap, but the government pretty much needs to process these offerings. And if the government's shut down, they're not processing offerings. So whenever the government opens up, there's going to be a batch of offerings that happen all at once. So we're going to have probably several months of more offerings than usual. Which is going to be exciting. All right, BKYI pushing the highs. Nice. This is why I didn't want to get in early. see how crazy this gets. Hopefully this pushes some more. I'm not too, you know, interested in getting squeezed here. This could work, but I'll be okay missing this one if it just drops off a cliff right here. It did make it to $1 though, and $1.10. It's kind of nice. So it pulled back to pre-market high. Support is holding so far. I really would love to see it rip higher. Oh, MSGM Batman alert just popped. That means we're doing good. Hopefully we continue doing good, because I'm not taking it here. All right, BKYI pushing, trying to go higher. The crazy thing with when you have a bigger account, which, we're working on that, so this isn't a problem for me. But when you do have a big account and you're trading these small caps, you got to trade where the volume is. So all the volume is right here in the morning. So if I'm filling a massive short, this is the place to do it. All these liquidity grabs. You become the liquidity grabber. Of course, if it does squeeze, then you're extra screwed also. Some pretty big orders right here on the ask. 50,000. I think this is in hundreds. $50K is gone. Looks like he's done. We'll see if it pushes through 210 or 110. I'd love to see it squeeze. Otherwise, this is the perfect place to short. Probably it. I don't know. I really don't try to top tick. All right, it's holding this 16 moving average right now. Trying to break through that 110 level still. It's threatening to pop. Still not sure if it can do it. $25 million traded in the last 10 minutes. All right, here we go. Trying to push the highs again. Nice. This one's very jumpy. This one can move fast. Yeah, MTC's doing some silly stuff. MTC. Don't fight this one. Don't want to fight that one. Here we go, 110 test. Pretty stacked ask at 110. Let's see. Feels like it's gonna squeeze. Here we go, 111. Smacked back down at 111. Would love to see a pretty clear top out. looks kind of double toppy right now, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm okay missing this one if it falls off a cliff right here. I did just trigger an alert. Too short. One of my short indicators. That might be it. That might be all the juice it's got in it. The market has been slower than usual this week. Maybe the calm before the storm. Totally reasonable place to short, I think. I would just prefer to see a blowout. That's all. Polymarket volume significantly inflated by artificial activity from the Columbia researchers. That's kind of funny. Okay, so uh, shareholders approve Elon Musk's pay plan. Ooh, BKYI pushing new highs. That's what I was worried about. Now we might see a blowout. That's what we wanted. That's why I don't like to jump in too early. I'd rather be late than early. And if you're early, don't come. Here we go. $1.20. Nice Nvidia short. Good job on that. Everything is looking prime for shorting in big caps right now. I should be hitting something. So you got short the bounce right there at, what is that, 10 o'clock? 9:45, 10-ish. Sweet. Cover the dip into the new low. Nice little trade. Maybe should have been more patient. It's hard to say, really. Yeah, base hits, you've been doing great this week. Green every day, that's nice. That's the thing though. It's kind of like a spaghetti model for a hurricane, you know? It could go this way, it could go that way, it could go this way. So could keep going down, could bounce. Don't know. It does seem like when there's too aggressive of moves of drops in the market, then that's when we see those big rebounds. And things can turn on a dime. Let's see. Yeah, SPY has a little gap that it might want to try to fill. Seems to be pretty common. Sort of broken a trend line. So it has broken trend. We could see a market top. We could see a market top out. A little early still to tell. Kind of like back here in, what was this, 2021, 2022? So January 22, we had a very similar kind of trend break. Very similar. Big test here. So October mega test, and then kind of setting the trend line actually. But pretty clear break in January, and then breakdown pullback, some chop into deeper lows towards the end of the year, and then it bottomed out. It did bottom out and came back, and then some. Isn't that funny though, how you get these support, resistance, like just like that, boom. Support line, this thing pulled back perfectly to the support, and then jackknife rebound right off of that. Now the next one's up here, so if we do have a pullback, the most obvious level would be 614 on SPY. If it does give a deeper pullback. Actually, yeah. You thought it might reverse at 10. That is a reversal spot potential, and it did. SPY did do that. Look at that. It took out the low a little bit, and it's ripping right back up. How about that? NVIDIA kind of doing the same thing. Now if it might chop around and go lower potentially. But man, this is a pretty big pullback for NVIDIA right now. Several massive red days in a row. Into the gap down today. So now it wants to fill the gap. Is it today the bottom? Maybe. I don't know. It wants to get back to 188 though. At some point. All right, BKYI still going. $1.29 high. so far. All right, here's some stats. All right, I want to see how my strat does on Fridays. Kinda good. Kinda good. Let's see here. All right, I'm locking in MSGM. 19%, not bad. We'll take it. We'll take it. See, the thing is that could keep going another 20%, so I don't know what the right decision is. I will not be greedy. We won't be greedy. Okay, BKYI still deciding what it wants to do. Yeah, it's gonna go lower. Oh well. Maybe. All right. I think I'm gonna call it there. I'm gonna keep an eye on BKYI. Maybe it'll set up for a 1030 setup. We'll see what it does. But we're gonna wrap it up there, guys. Good luck, everybody. Have a good weekend. We'll be back at it on Monday. I'll update the Discord later with this trade a little bit later.